to share with you this wonderful, amazing new enclosure for Slade, Boomer, and Ezra that is super huge. It's one of the biggest partakings that we've done. I like it a lot, and I think that the guests will like it too. If you know anything about care and you've done a tour here before, you know that as you go through the compound, especially in the heat in the summer, by the time you get down to the area where the suites and the lemurs and everything are, by the way, we're sandblasting the suites to repaint them. They don't always look that way. And by the time you get down here, you're so hot, and some people are feeling like they're gonna pass out. So we came up with this idea of building something with a big roof. So this is kind of like what we're gonna do. So you're on a tour and you're hot and you're tired and you're sweaty, and the tour guide is hot and tired and sweaty. And so I say, hey, come on in here. Now, obviously this is still under construction, but this area will keep people safe. And so this is gonna be Ezra's area. Now, I'm getting really low. We're gonna have to build this up and build a concrete slab because we have some issues with low-lying areas. These platforms are huge.
They are so awesome.
They're 10 foot by 8 foot, and the great thing about them is if you look up, there's a roof. So these will stay shaded, and we've tested them. They stay shaded all day, both sides. Now, Slade's does not, but we'll show you how we're gonna accommodate for Slade today. Also in this area, like while people are sitting, I think we'll have either like soda machines or a cooler or something, not sodas, I mean like some kind of like Gatorades and waters, you know, things that people, to rehydrate people, because it's rough. And amazing, show a close-up of that plate right there. These picnic tables were made as an Eagle Scout project last year. We stained them to match well, the platforms are going to be that brown color also. We haven't stained them. Their lockdowns are very separate, not together on the fence line, which made them quite a bit more expensive, more time consuming to build. But these are it. But here's Boomer's, the next one's Slade's, and the other one's Ezra's, but they're separated by 30 feet, each 30 to 40 feet, each one of them. Now each one of them will be covered, I know it looks kind of funny right now, but if you look up, each one of them will have sheet metal. This one will come out quite a bit for that west sun, or when the sun sets in the west. So if you look down at the ground, you can see the shadow. It's going to provide shade all the way out to here. And as the sun sets over there, it'll continue to give every single enclosure a lot of shade. Also, this I wanted to make sure that we came down on the west side. So we're going to put sheet metal down to here. That's multi-purpose. We're really close to the road over here. I wanted to make sure the boys had protection, but also airflow up underneath because it gets so hot. So all the trees, if you turn around, there's trees on the other side of the road. The trees will provide shade once the sun gets past where this is. So these lockdowns will provide shade, at least a 20 by 20 area of shade 24 hours a day. So that was a really, really big. And you can come on in. Every enclosure has to be built. This is USDA regulation. You have to have a double walkway. So this is the double walkway. So you go through here first. Now, obviously, anytime that we're in these enclosures, Slade and Boomer will be on the outside, and Ezra. Then you can come in here, clean the enclosure, and these are the new houses.
Love the log cabins.
Love the log cabins. The log cabins are amazing.
So nice.
They're nice and big. See these screws? These screws. Take a look at these screws. Each one of these screws is very specific. They're self-tapping, and they're made for landscape timbers. They're 8 inches long, and there's about 300 of them in each house, and they're $1 a piece.
$300 for each house for just the screws.
Just the screws. Yep. So these drop gates are genius. This is a Calvin thing. So these go like that.
Wow.
And that goes up. So Boomer, you need to go in your lockdown. You're in your lockdown now. So now I'm going to slide it down and it's down, and then push that right into
That's nice.
So then, even if he decided he wanted to lift it, he can't lift it while he's in there. Pretty cool, huh?
That's pretty nice.
So
in a lot of the other ones, we have bars too, but they're just bars that you kind of stick.
And then
through
it
a
sticks
fence
out.
and-
It sticks
yeah.
out the other side a lot, and then we have to worry about the cats hitting their face whenever they go in. But this will have a little latch on the outside, like a carabiner
That's
or
nice.
something that we could latch it in, and then it can't move. And then whenever they're done, we open it up.
Maybe.
They're really not that heavy. They're so much better than you think. But, I mean, because there's a lot of heavier baits. And then slide it back in.
So it can't fall.
And, well, and it's the reason why we do it is because cables are only so, reliable. So you have to be really, really careful. And I don't trust that these cables will last forever. So we want to make sure that we have a
And
secondary.
You don't want a gate smashing Boomer in the head.
It could kill an animal. Very easy. I mean, he's hard-headed, but
If it fell on his back, it could really hurt him.
it could hurt him too, or his head. Either one. It would just be bad. So, as you notice, a lot of things that we do here are extra. When we clean enclosures, always has to be an extra person there. That person that backs you up and says clear or good to enter. It prevents accidents. It prevents human error. It prevents equipment falling apart that you don't notice is falling apart, and a gate falling down and hurting. So everything that we can do as secondary, and again, like over the platforms, putting an extra fence, trying to think of everything possible to make sure that the animals are safe and people are safe. That's 99% of this job that I do in building, is making sure it's safe for the animals and trying to be creative. But my creativity is sucking lately. But I think even though I'm not quite on point right now as far as their enclosure and what to do with the middle of them, I think we're gonna move them over here anyway. At least Slade and Boomer. I will probably move them over here this week. So that's about it.
Let's go see the cooler or the freezer.
Oh yeah, wanna?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
We'll be right back. Freezer!
Freezer! Okay, welcome to Kara's new freezer that's not on yet. So this is it. Wow. It is humongous.
This is huge.
We don't have lights yet, so I gotta keep that door open. Great thing. We have 2 compressors. One will be set about 2 degrees below the other one. So that way if one compressor goes out, the other one will click automatically on. It'll be set 2 degrees higher. So if one of these units goes out, they're both state-of-the-art. We went with 2. This did not end up being the amount of money that we thought it was gonna be. It ended up being a lot more. One of the reasons is the concrete slab was $6,000. Anyway, so those end up being $8,000. So $13,000 for the slab and the compressors. Yeah, this has been a kind of a hit, but I know now that we will have a freezer, and I think that this was so critical that we have a place to put meat. I mean, until you're in here, I'm sure the video isn't gonna give it justice. I'm sure Jamie, it's huge.
It's huge.
It's huge.
Like, I'm pretty sure I lived in an apartment once that wasn't much bigger than this.
I know Destiny's apartment, she had a studio apartment in Denton College, and it was 300 square feet. And that's, what is it? We can pull it out. We'll have a cooler. By the way, we're putting our old cooler, which we always called it the freezer, but it really didn't freeze as a cooler. We're gonna put the old one right next to this. So what we can do, as we need it, we pull the meat out of this freezer, take it next door, put it in the cooler, let it defrost for 2 or 3 days, and then we can, take it out, and then we can use it for food. So yeah, this is it.
And then this space over here is where the cooler is going to be moved.
The cooler will be, and then it'll be brought forward, and all the condensers and everything and the machinery for this freezer will be behind it.
Oh, I'm getting this all nasty.
Oh, Jamie.
Look what I did.
We can't have nothing nice.
I know, we can't have nice things.
Not there to
So
just put
that's
it.
where the cooler is now.
And then maybe we could tell them a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
that's going to be a concrete slab, and Allie and Archie.
Let's go over there.
Allie and Archie,
We'll
yeah.
be back.
Yeah. This is the idea here as far as Allie and Archie go. We know that Archie's getting very much on in age, and he's got cataracts. Really having a hard time getting around. The steps, the girls are building steps today for him so he can get up on his platforms, up and down off his platforms easier. But I think once this cooler here is moved over there to where the freezer is, we'll have a concrete slab here. I think we're gonna build him a house like some of the other cats have with air conditioning and heat. Try to give him a little tunnel from the enclosure, or even just connect the whole enclosure and put the house inside of it. I'm not really sure how to do it yet, but that would give him somewhere to go in the heat. And I don't really think the heat really bothers him too much, but I think that he needs more than what he has. This enclosure right here has always been kind of it had a giant tree in it, and then a tornado took it out, and then ever since then it's just been but I just wish it was a little different. One of the big ideas once we get that enclosure done down there is to move Slade, Boomer, and Ezra all over to the new enclosure, and then move Noelle back down to her tree, and then move Allie and Archie up to Nye and Shanti's, and Nye and Shanti over to Noelle's. Nye and Shanti have a lot of low places to climb on. There's not really big stuff, like Archie's is pretty high. And the steps the girls are building today, we can move them over there when he needs them. But if that doesn't work out very well, in the meantime, we could really overhaul this enclosure and build something really nice for Archie. That's the plan. And not that Allie doesn't deserve it, it's just Allie is spry. She doesn't act like she's a day over 2 years old, but my big guy, big guys have a harder time.
Alley cat.
I don't know where Archie is.
I don't know. Arch. Yeah.
And we could always move Allie and Archie over to Ezra's for a while, so it's not too far of a move for Archie, because Archie doesn't like transport cages. He's a scaredy cat. So if we can't get him loaded, we may just want to move him over there for a while we redo this. And then they may love it over there, because, honestly, Ezra's got a kick-butt cage.
Yes, he does.
And then maybe that's the answer anyway. Maybe we need to just tear down the fences in between and just make this one big enclosure.
That'd be cool.
Uh-huh.
That'd be
then
cool.
Noelle couldn't go back in here.
I know.
But Noelle would be happy, I'll be honest with you, because I think she loves being where she is.
I think she likes it too. She's where all the people are.
That's the big thing, and I think if we moved her back here, she would get kind of depressed. That's kind of what I'm worried about Ezra. Ezra's a people cat, but he just doesn't like more than one or two at a time. So
Gets overwhelmed.
yeah. That's a good idea. Maybe we should it would be really easy to just take down the fence in between.
That would give them so much space.
It would be, and then it would be a pretty enclosure.
Yeah.
That'd be a really pretty enclosure.
All right.
All right.
That's
I'm
it for
on and
today.
on. Yeah. How long was that, Jamie?
It
Like
was
20
long.
hours?
I don't know. Yeah, 20, 30 hours.
All right.
All right.
Bye, guys. Have a good one.